So a couple days ago, I came across a news article via Twitter about a woman who had allegedly killed her son. It's unclear how exactly. We're going to talk about the details of that because there is body cam footage, which is the main reason I wanted to discuss this. Since we rarely see body cam footage anymore, especially with confessions in crimes that are less publicized like this one, at least as of now, hopefully it will get a little more attention. So there's this article from the New York Post that says, Eerie body cam footage shows the Amish mother accused of drowning her 4-year-old son, telling cops she quote-unquote gave him to God. The headline itself, I think, is self-explanatory enough that we already know what happened, so they don't really use necessarily the word murder, but I think we all understand that that's exactly what we're dealing with. Disturbing body cam footage shows Amish mother Ruth Miller eerily telling police she gave her 4-year-old son, quote-unquote, to God, and that the quote-unquote end is close, after drowning him in an Ohio lake. Tuscarawas County, if that's how you pronounce it, sheriff's deputies responded to a 911 call on August 23rd at the Atwood Lake campgrounds regarding a golf cart that had been driven into the water with a woman and 3 children. Body cam footage obtained by Court TV shows Miller, 40, at the scene, being escorted by her 2 adult sons towards a parking lot, where she tells the 2 deputies that she's not quote-unquote crazy for throwing her son in the lake. So this is a part where there's a little bit of confusion because there's the mention of the golf cart, and seemingly she drove that golf cart into the lake with all of her kids. So then you kind of have to wonder if the point was for all of them to die, question mark, if she thought that only one of them was going to, and that's not even a sure deal, depending on how that falls in, maybe more, so it's unclear what exactly she was going for with that. Clearly she wanted someone to die because she's talking about God and the end being near, so I don't really think this is someone who had no ill intent to begin with. She then said, I threw him in the lake and I gave him to God. A detached-sounding Miller admits to the officers, he's sweet and I love him, but I gave him to God. People are going to tell me I'm crazy, but he's real and he loves you. He really does love you. So I'm going to show you guys the body cam footage. If it gets copyrighted, I'll link it down below. Regardless, one of the things that you should make note of in the body cam footage is, first of all, there is no doubt that this woman is unwell, and you can see that in her body language and what she's saying. But aside from that, it also seems like she is very religiously delusional because of how she's even touching the police, which you'd think most people know that that's the last thing you're going to do is put your hands on the police. In this case, obviously they didn't draw their weapons or anything, but nonetheless, it is clear she is unwell and her grasp on reality is extremely loose, even just because of how she's talking to the police about everything she did. She seems eerily calm. I'll show you all of it here. Another important thing, listen to what she says about her husband.
I gave him to God.
You gave him to God today?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I threw him in the lake and I gave him to God. And people are going to tell me I am crazy, but he is real. And he loves you. He really does love you. He loves you. And I doubted him. I doubted him so many times. But I am to tell you, he is coming soon. He is coming very soon. Prepare your hearts. The end is close. And I'm for sure supposed to tell you that he does love you. Okay?
Ma'am, can you explain to me what happened? Who did you throw in the water?
I gave my son to God.
Your son?
Yes.
Where's your husband?
He went for a walk this morning.
And you haven't seen him
He
since?
didn't ever come back. And we went to the boat and his clothes were there. And God told me he's in the lake and a fish swallowed him. And you're actually supposed to go look for him in the bottom of the lake. And you will find the fish. And you will find my husband. And then you will believe. But ye of your little faith that did not believe before seeing.
Okay.
So send people down to the bottom of the lake looking for a fish. That has my husband.
How old's your son that's in the lake?
4. He's sweet. I love him. I gave him to him.
Okay.
I need to know where your husband's at.
He's at the bottom of the lake in a fish.
He's in a fish.
Yes.
There's no fish large enough on an Atwood to swallow your husband.
He's at the bottom of the lake in a fish.
Okay.
I thought your husband went for a walk.
Yeah, and then we came to the boat, and his clothes were laying on the boat.
Okay.
Tan
Yeah.
pants and cream shirt and flip-flops.
Do you have a cell phone?
It's in the camper.
It's in the camper. Where's your camper at?
I think it's,
Area 3?
I think so. Yeah. It's like a tannish camper.
It's a tannish camper. You don't know what lot number it is?
No.
'Cause we really need to verify your husband's still with us.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Well, he's actually just go out in the bottom of the lake.
Well, I can't go in the bottom of the lake. So
Do you
we
have
need
scuba divers?
Yeah, we're gonna have to call divers in to go to the
Okay.
bottom of the lake.
Please do.
And you're saying
Get the best ones there are. Because this
So-
is a miracle from God. And you will see. You will see.
you're saying your 4-year-old son's down there too?
He's with God.
Where's his body at?
I don't know.
Where did you throw him
He's
in the water at?
Off of the dock at the causeway.
Where the bike was
Where
today?
the boat was?
Yeah, where the boat is.
Okay.
Please believe me. I know.
When there's supposed to be ones coming out there.
I think there was one.
Does anybody have his license?
Where-
So your knee won't hurt you. Please trust me.
Okay.
It won't hurt you.
Okay.
It won't hurt you. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. God, please show this woman that it is true what I'm telling you. People are doubting. It is getting harder for me to stay strong. Please show her that it is true what I'm telling you. That there is a fish in the bottom of the lake. My husband. Please let her take me to sit with my children under the tree that you have created. Please, Lord.
And it's
She then frantically tells one of the deputies, while putting her hand on his arm, that she doubted God so many times and it's her responsibility to spread the news that he's coming very soon. Prepare your hearts, the end is near, and I'm definitely supposed to tell you that he loves you, okay? Miller says. Another deputy then asked the mom whom exactly she threw in the water. I gave my son to God, she replies. The officer follows up by asking about the whereabouts of her husband, Marcus J. Miller, to which she tells him he went on a walk earlier that morning and will, quote-unquote, never come back, because God told her a fish swallowed him in the lake. As more deputies arrived, she tells them they can find her husband inside the fish at the bottom of the lake. As one officer pushes back to get her husband's exact whereabouts, Miller tells them to bring the quote-unquote best divers they have to find him and that her 4-year-old son is, quote, with God. A paramedic then escorts Miller away from the officers. The footage shows her kneeling to pray alongside the medic. Now, even the kneeling beside the medic is, I think, a degree of delusional, which is unfathomable, because if her husband and son were missing, I understand all the praying, but clearly she knows what happened to them. Clearly she's at least partially responsible for what happened to the son. What happened to the husband, I don't know, because there are also some claims that it was a suicide, a delusional religious suicide, so I don't know about him. But in terms of her son, she is guilty and she knows he's dead, so praying with the medic comes off as delusional or at least fake, because you know what happened. What are you praying for? Arguably, it is too late for that. Regardless, divers found the bodies of her husband and 4-year-old son completely submerged at the bottom of the lake later that day. Sheriff Orvis Campbell told reporters at a news conference the mom of 4 and her husband were experiencing what was described as spiritual delusion when they believed God was speaking to them and they were taking part in a test of faith by jumping in the lake and swimming out as far as they could, Campbell said. After returning to the campground with his wife following their swim, Marcus Miller told her he was going back to the lake. Now, this is all alleged, and this is also all from the wife's perspective, the wife who killed their kid, so I'm not really sure I believe any of what she said her husband believed. He could surely be spiritually delusional, but I don't really know if there's any point in believing anything further than that. Regardless, it goes on to say that Ruth Miller would later tell detectives her husband was distraught over failing his task because he didn't have enough faith, prompting him to attempt it again alone. So the task being dying for your faith, essentially, it seems. Police said that about 2 hours after Marcus Miller went back to the water, Ruth placed her 4-year-old son in a golf cart and was driving recklessly around the campground. She then forced him into the water. Immediately following the incident, she drove the golf cart into the lake with 3 of her other children, including her 15-year-old daughter and 18-year-old twin sons. They're now in the care of other family members, according to authorities. So this is where I'm saying there's somewhat of a lack of clarity because, driving the golf cart into the water, clearly you don't have any good intention, but I don't understand if she was trying to kill them and herself as well, or what the kind of end goal was there. I tend to believe that if she was willing to kill her 4-year-old child, the other children weren't off the table. And if they're going after this delusional, God wants us to do this kind of narrative, then it would make sense that they're all going to go, right? You wouldn't think that she would just pick one child, unless, I guess, if we're talking about a sacrifice, and that might be more particular, but this doesn't seem like it has a very clear, logical sense to it, so I'm going to assume she probably just wanted to kill everyone. Miller has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of domestic violence, and 1 count of child endangerment, according to court records. Following the tragic chain of events, Miller initially was taken to a secure hospital but was transferred to the county jail. She pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity at her arraignment. And now apparently Miller's attorney, Ian N. Friedman, told People magazine last week that he's confident the mother's defense can prove her severe mental ailment led to her conduct. I expect that this case will center around whether Ruth should be found not guilty by reason of insanity. We are confident that she will be, he said. Her bond hearing is for the end of September. The question really is whether they're going to find her not guilty. I definitely think insanity is there. I don't really think that's super debatable at the moment, but I really do hope they don't decide that she's not guilty because she's insane, because clearly this took, I don't want to necessarily say a deep level of premeditation, but there had to be a plan, right? I don't think she just got on the golf cart and got her kids to go on it with her and then decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swerve into the water. Also because apparently she used the golf cart more than once. According to how this is written, it looks like it wasn't really a one-off. So I'm confused about that. I'm confused about what exactly happened with her husband, if he actually did kill himself or if she did something. I don't know if he was as deluded as she was, because it's also possible that she was the one who was having this delusion, crisis of faith that combined with delusion, whatever the case may be, and then he got looped into it somehow as well. Or she actually did something to him, I don't know. But we don't actually have proof as of now that he actually was suffering from some severe mental issue like her. I don't know what her children were like, especially the older ones, if they also believed this, if they were indoctrinated. These are all questions I hope that they give us answers to, and hopefully this case doesn't get buried like many other ones. I suppose that's all that we're going to see until the end of September when she has a bond hearing, and I'm assuming that that's when more information will come out. Anyways, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.